Yes, guys, hello. Welcome to the post-match review of the Chelsea-Tottenham game in the Premier League. Absolute shambles. But before we get into things, Joe, thanks for joining me. Just start off with your main thoughts on the game. Did you think the 3 points were deserved, Chelsea? And obviously, we'll talk about that decision a little bit later.
Chelsea deserve the win, but football can be a cruel game sometimes. Obviously, harshly ruled out a goal, and then the guy that does it kind of puts the final nail on the coffin. Chelsea are the much better team. The difference in class is kind of night and day. It's embarrassing, really, in that regard. But it was a game that I don't think you'll mind me saying that Tottenham fans weren't really expecting to win, and it would be kind of, if they got a result, then that'd be great. But yeah, 3 losses to Chelsea in 18 days isn't ideal.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, 3 losses in 18 days, exactly. It's unbelievable. I mean, that's 1 loss every 6 days. That means we're losing to Chelsea every week at the moment. Obviously, we played them twice in the cup. I understand that, but I mean, I agree. I didn't expect to win the game. I certainly didn't expect to get absolutely messed over by the referee. VAR. I mean, why is VAR not looking at that? I don't know. I thought that's what we have it there for controversial decisions or goals that potentially could stand when the referee decides that there's a push or there's a foul in the build-up. That's what the VAR is meant to look at. It's meant to look at clear and obvious errors, and that is a clear and obvious error. Harry Kane's arm is fully extended, and then it touches the back of Thiago Silva. You can't push someone when your arm is fully extended unless you're moving your body into it, and he clearly didn't. I mean, it's basic, it's not even science. It's just basic, just common sense. And that's what annoys me. That's what annoys me, because you can clearly see, even the replays on Sky Sports, Gary Neville's even going nuts. He's not pushed him. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Nexi, welcome on in. Inakal, out, Conte back. What a shit game. Exactly. Joe, I'll let you talk about this decision, but this is what's annoying me. I mean, I'm not saying Chelsea didn't deserve to win 90 minutes. They were the better team, but, if we got that goal, you never know what could have happened in that game. And I know it's what if all the time with Spurs, but let's be honest, that's a legitimate goal. I'm pretty sure those Chelsea fans will agree with me as well.
Yeah, if you'd have scored that, you would have gone in with the break 1-0 up, and it would have been all the momentum would have been with everyone. Would have been a completely different game. Chelsea under the cosh coming out second half. You'd have something to defend, but it's not just the fact the goal didn't count. The fact that it got ruled out in that way, and the Spurs got so screwed over in a way, just kind of, everyone was depleted, everyone was upset, I thought it was going to be another battle of the bridge after that. But it's a weird one. The rules they can overturn decisions like that, but because the referee gave the foul, it's one of those. Now with the rules that they're meant to kind of wait. Obviously, they're meant to make decisions, but if he'd have let the goal stand and kind of thought this might be a foul, they can then look at the VAR, and he can overturn his decision then. But I think if he'd have given the goal, it wouldn't have been clear and obvious enough for it to be overturned. And then likewise, him giving the foul, it's kind of his discretion, and something that much of a big decision. I don't think the VAR want to then load all the pressure on the referee. It's a shambles. It's all, instead of actually doing what's right for the game, what decisions are right, if this is correct or this isn't, they do it to basically bail out the referees. They want to kind of deflect away from unnecessary hate, but ironically it causes more.
But I agree with you saying they're trying to back the referee, but what's the point of having VAR if you're not going to correct the errors? Referees are human, they can make mistakes. He's made a mistake, so let the VAR intervene and correct the mistake. And it's not happening. It's not. I say it time and time again. I honestly feel like it helps the big teams, the classic top 4, if you like. It does. And whether you agree or not, I'm sorry. This is just another example. We'll see another example next week. If this VAR is staying, it has to be consistent. It has to be consistent on offside rulings. It has to be consistent on pushes to the best possible chance. And the fact it's not even looked at it, that's what's annoyed me. It's not even gone to VAR. I don't understand. I don't understand. If there's a legitimate goal, the Spurs players are all surrounding the ref saying, you've got to look at that, and no one's looked at it. Why do we have VAR?
It's strange because watching the Liverpool game earlier, it wasn't a penalty in my opinion. I'm a Liverpool fan, and I watched it and I was like, that's not getting given. And the more time went on, I was like, wow, they might actually give this, and they did. But that one, there was kind of a case of he kind of got fouled, but the ball was going out, and you could argue it either way. With this one, it was zero tolerance. There was no way it was a foul. It was the most slightest of touches for a big centre half. There's no way he should be going down like that. In my opinion, if he goes down like that as his fault, he's got to stand his ground. It was so minuscule. And it was actually because he misjudged Kane's run. He misjudged where the pass was going. It was his error. And he atoned for it to go down like that and got very lucky. That's what it was. Gary Neville was saying that commentary. He's been clever. He's been lucky. He shouldn't be able to get away with being clever and stopping a clear and legitimate goal.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand it. It's spot on, Joe. I don't even know what to say in response to that. Gets in here, he says only we would lose to Chelsea 4 times in one season, scoring a grand total of 0. It's just embarrassing, really. And I believe that's us paid them
4.
home and away now in the league.
3-0, 1-0,
home and
2-0,
away.
2-0.
We lost 3-0 at home. We lost 2-0 away. So that's 5-0 on aggregate in the league. And then we lost 3-0 on aggregate. So we conceded 8 goals against Chelsea and not scored in 4 games. It's absolutely embarrassing. But a disgraceful decision, like you said. And like we're saying, Asia's goal should have stood. Hope you guys are well. Hope you're doing well, mate. Thanks for joining as always. Nexty, if we played 100 times against Chelsea, we'd never get them as bad as on midfield. I mean, I was on the Irish Hotspur before the game and his channel, and there was a stat 59 times we played Chelsea in the Premier League now, 7 wins. I mean, that is shocking. 7 wins in 60 games. We're meant to be like on a similar level to Chelsea. It's not even near. And this is what I mean. Like, they're bringing on N'Golo Kante, world-class midfielder. I would argue, I was saying to my family, he's in the top 5 midfielders in the world for me, on N'Golo Kante on his day. And they're bringing him off the bench. With all due respect, we're bringing on Brian Hill, Ollie Skip, and Sergio Reguilon. I mean, I just don't get it. Doherty played 90 minutes. He's just not up to the standard of quality. Lucas was off it today.
He didn't start. I was surprised Lucas didn't start. To be fair, to give credit where it's due, I don't think Bergwijn had a bad game.
Bergwijn was our best player, in my opinion, other than probably... Dyer wasn't even back to his best. There's not even much to say about Tottenham really today. I mean, there really isn't. Winks looked sloppy at times, kept giving the ball away, poor passes forward. He made a good solo run in the first half and then a terrible, terrible shot on target. But, at least he doesn't keep turning back. But without keep focusing on how poor we were, like, at the end
you
of the day,
need leaders in that team. You've got one in goal and you've got one up front, but in between that, you've got nothing, in my opinion. Højbjerg is a good asset, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Højbjerg can be sort of that leader, but at the same time, he was good against Leicester. He was very good, but today, not good again. But then again, Jorginho and Kovacic, they're pretty brilliant midfielders. It's very hard to sort of beat them like for like. Is it just me, or does it feel like we always getting done by VAR moments? The only time VAR has ever helped us is in that Champions League quarter-final against Man City, and what was the other one? And the Man City Premier League game. It always seems to be against Man City. It helps. That's it. Reguilon didn't come on. It was Lucas.
I don't remember Reguilon coming
on. Maybe I'm just,
Doesn't matter.
Your opinion when you saw Dele Alli shoot for a tick? Well,
what's that?
Yes, I saw this. So I don't actually understand what he means, but I do understand what he means because I saw it. So basically, on this point, so it's half time. Everyone's raging about the fact that we've should have had a goal that was legit. Mm-hmm. And Dele Alli is on TikTok posting himself doing filters as a giraffe and a zebra on TikTok while his team are playing. Swear on my life, he's posted while Spurs are playing on TikTok, and all the comments are just like, Dele, we're playing. Like, what is going on with you? So it's clear he doesn't care about football. He still doesn't care about Tottenham. And
that's poor. That's really poor.
That's really poor. I mean, if he has an agent, which he obviously does, if he has management, which he obviously does, get them sacked because what are they doing? Or maybe it's part of it. Maybe it's part of it.
Was he on the bench?
No, he wasn't in the squad today. Neither was Ndombele and neither was Lo Celso.
That's still poor, but not on the. Well, that's I didn't know that. That's saying give me a lot.
I didn't actually understand what he meant by tick, shoot for a tick, but I completely understand. No. Nexty, I completely understood what you meant. No worries. Good point. Exactly. It's actually reminded me. I was going to bring it out. Like, what is Dele Alli doing? But Roy Keane said it years ago. Dele lost his hunger for the game he's finished. I mean, Dele Alli hasn't been Dele Alli for 3-4 seasons now. It's time to let him try and revive his career at another club. This guy he's not good enough at Tottenham. He's it's for the best of both clubs. Best of both parties, the club and Dele Alli if he moves on, and hopefully he gets a move. There's a lot of talk about Newcastle, but obviously we'll see in the coming 8 days. Is there left
It's a
of the
shame
window? 9
because
days.
to be a top player, you need talent, you need desire, you need professionalism, and you need consistency. And he's got one of those. That's it. And he's never even found the other three. And that's what you see with so many players that have the talent, but they just don't quite get there because they haven't got the other factors. And I do feel like the modern day, you get distracted so easy. There's so much money coming in left, right, and centre. So it's it doesn't matter if I'm crap on the field because I've got all of this. And the fact he's prioritising TikToks when his team's getting handed to Stamford Bridge,
It's embarrassing,
like,
Joe.
what are you doing,
It's
mate?
embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Like, spot on. What's he doing on TikTok? It'd be different if he was on TikTok not during the game, maybe tomorrow or whatever. It's still quite bad. But the fact he's done it at half time on the game when this something so controversial and it's so stupid what he's doing. It's not like he's going on TikTok and raging about the game because that would never happen. He's doing giraffe and animal filters of himself on his phone. I'm not even joking. Go and have a look. Or you'll get angry doing it.
I'd rather not, to be honest.
Yeah. 20th of January today, we signed no players, haggling over Dharma. Yeah, do you know what's going to happen? I can tell you exactly what's going to happen now. So when's the deadline? Is it 1st of February?
Well, it's like 11 p.m. on the 31st of January, isn't it?
Okay, so 31st of January. So literally 1 week, 1 day, 8 days. We're going to have signed Adama Traore, and that is it. We're probably letting Ndombele go on to PSG if they actually want him, and that's true. And people will be raging, Enoch out, Levy out. It's not even going to be a surprise anymore at this point. I mean, that today shows you the golfing class between the two teams. Yeah, we got a great result against Leicester. Fantastic. Yeah, we're in a good position in the league because we've got, 2-3 games in hand. But Chelsea are night and day above us. Like, it's not. There's not even getting round that. Their squad that the players they can bring off the bench, the quality they have in their starting 11, just beats us all ends up, and Conte has to get backed. And if he doesn't, this is criminal from all aspects of the board.
I do side of the fact that obviously January is difficult to get players in for anyone. Middle of the season, people don't want to let people go, and obviously there's less people available. But still, I'm not. It's a difficult one, but I still stand.
Bring a player in on loan, Joe. Bring a player.
Of course,
bring a
yeah.
free in on loan. Then deal with the real problems in July in the summer. It's not happening. It's like we're sitting back going, Conte, we'll back you in the summer. Just get on with the the situation now. Try and get Europa League. That's what I feel like they're saying.
I'm just not even sure he wants Adama. Like, they wanted him in the summer before he was even there. Unless when they were in talks to bring Conte to the club in the first place, he kind of mentioned about him. That's the only thing I can think of. But it's obviously Paratici wants him. They've got themselves a decent deal. They've obviously got a decent relationship with Wolves because they got Doherty from there as well. Then it just kind of trumps everything. You spend 25 mil on Emerson, and then you've got Doherty being thrown to the side ahead of him, and now you're looking to sign an Adama that is probably going to play that position, unless they just start him further forward. I don't know.
I don't know what the plan is. I mean, there's a lot of talks about Adama as a right wing back, but anyway, perhaps we review the transfers the time next week and see where we're at. But I don't think it'll be a very long video. But Joe, obviously from your perspective, your sort of neutral perspective, what do you think that Spurs need to do, bar signing some players, in terms of in games like? Because I don't think we played bad first half. I really don't. I think we're unlucky, obviously, to be 1-0, not 1-0 up, and perhaps we should have taken more chances. But we only had 2 shots in the game, I believe, maybe 3.
Yeah.
But what is lacking for Spurs at the moment?
I mean, whenever I watch you go forward, I don't ever feel like you're going to score. And that's genuinely the honest truth. Like, I'm kind of thinking, where's this goal going to come from? I'll see you on the attack. And I'm like, yeah, but you'll play out wide. You'll do something. You might get a corner, but you'll probably lose the ball. The silly passes are all over the place today. Saying that, there was one really good opportunity that Højbjerg just put a bit too much on his pass. I think it was for Lucas. Was it Lucas? I don't know. But it was an unbelievable pass. But I told you, you need more leaders in the midfield. You need more leaders between defence and attack. I just don't think you've got quality. You're saying about what the Spurs need to do. I don't think there's a lot you can do with the quality you've got at the club. I just don't ever see.
Exactly.
I just don't really ever trust in the fact that you're going to score when you're going forward. And it's just a bit of a mockery. Obviously, Chelsea's a hard one to assess today, going to the Bridge. Most teams are kind of sit back, so they've got the pressure and then go from there. But I don't know. It just kind of seems like you got your heads down. You kept trying to play aerial balls, and you were just getting completely cut out by the defenders that are huge. Obviously, Rudiger and Thiago Silva. Kane was up there, kind of throwing his hands around, thinking, "Well, what else am I going to do?" He's trying to drop back to get the ball, but no one else is supporting him, and you seemed like you were just trying to kind of play out an impossible game style, and it was just never. I honestly, I don't know. There's a lot to sort out of that club, but it's the same things we've been saying ever since Pochettino walked or got sacked. Sorry, and it's not going to be an easy one. And there's got to be a mixture of serious backing, serious rollover, serious overhaul, serious injection of, identity, which is something I think Conte has brought more than any other manager has so far. But it's such a big job on his hands.
Exactly. You said about the golfing class and the quality. I mean, when I saw the lineup, I wasn't happy with it. I know there was a few like knocks, and the fact that Reguilon was on the bench, and the fact that who else was left out? Like just the fact that Tanganga was starting after his absolute shocking performance recently. I mean, there needs to be 2 or 3 leaders in there, or at least one more leader in there, and 2 or 3 genuinely world-class players need to come into Spurs, because at the moment, you look at our midfield, the lineup difference. So Chelsea had Kovacic and Jorginho in the midfield, right? Had Skip,
Yeah.
Højbjerg, not Skip, Højbjerg, Winks. I mean, just those two against those two, it's just a bit. It says a
Chelsea are
lot, and
far from
obviously,
full strength as well. They got their best keeper out. They got both their wing backs that are same as like Liverpool. They're major for like contributing to their attacks. They're both out, having to play Malang Sarr out of position to kind of cover. Kante's still not match fit. It's mad. They're different bums. Like
exactly. Gaeta's got a couple more comments. He said, "We're not serious. We need certified ballers, and we're looking to sign the likes of Traore, looking to let Tanguy go. No talks of bringing in a body to replace him. For Conte to only lose a league game till now shows you what a job he's doing with this terrible squad." Exactly. That's, you got to remember, the first loss in 10 league games under Conte, I believe. And feel so sorry for Kane as well. He looks around and just sees no one on his level when Sonny is playing. Obviously, we're forgetting, like, we're not really forgetting, but we haven't even talked about it. The fact we haven't got Son available at the moment is obviously a big blow. We don't, because that's where we look at the goals. You go back to saying, well, Joe, like you were saying a minute ago, about where do the goals come from? When you go forward, you don't look like scoring. Son is pretty much, a big chunk of us scoring, and when we're without him, it's like hit the ball to Kane and hope for the best, really. There's a
best
lot
I've
of
seen
people
you
saying
play
we
was
need.
against Liverpool in recent times, of how, in terms of attacking kind of threat, when you were counter attacking against Liverpool every time, I thought there's a serious chance you score on all of these attacks. And when it was that intensity, even just putting that in the back of the minds of like the Liverpool players, they dropped back and they reacted as a result. Whereas, against Chelsea and against all Chelsea in every single game, I haven't felt that at all. I really haven't seen you scoring in any of the games, so it's no surprise to me that you haven't.
Exactly that. Gaeta is saying, even if we can't play top dollar for the players, we need to go back to trying to sign gems. Again, it's a risk. Like we thought that with Brian Hill and swapping him from Lamella. Right now, I'm genuinely going to hold my hands up in the air and say I would take Lamella over Hill at the moment, because at least Lamella comes on and runs his socks off. Yeah, he's always prone to a bit of a yellow card or two, but at least he threw his body on the line. Yeah, Lamella wasn't the most world-class player ever. Like, I don't think you can brandish Lamella as world-class, but at least he sort of gave you something, an option. And yeah, Spurs lad says, I hope you lads are sending a get well soon card to Silva. It's already in the post, mate. It's just a joke. You're spot on, though. Different against Liverpool. You guys play an open game. Chelsea play with a rigid back four. True. And Coungs in here, he says, it isn't that we played bad, they just played better. Exactly, that's what I said. Like, overall in the 90 minutes, Chelsea were the better side, but I do have to say we were lacking class today. We were lacking that real, honest, like, chance of scoring. Like, I reckon we played 180 minutes and not scored. That's me being honest. Like, obviously the Kane ones are lucky, and that could have changed everything, but if we forget about that one, we did not look like scoring for a good few more minutes, did we, Joe?
No. You got time to regroup though. You're saying about what the Spurs need to do. Obviously, there's the break now. There's not a Premier League game until 9th of February. It's a long chunk of time out. So he's going to get a real chance to work with his squad now and kind of plan ahead. If he does bring in players, there's time to get them to adapt. And you've got back-to-back home games next against Southampton and Wolves, which should both be 6 points, in total. And that'll be a good chance and a good opportunity to build some momentum of that. Get back to playing well. As I said, you got a lot of time. After that, it's quite difficult. I know you got Leeds and Man City away, but that's quite far in the future.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. Next, he says if Daniel Levy can invest some money to buy players like Adama, Vlahovic, and so on, and today, January the 23rd, he did not bring any players on it. Exactly. Daniel Levy must be sitting there thinking, like, he obviously enjoys watching football, maybe not Tottenham, but, he obviously watches football. He must be able to see that we don't have options off the bench. Like, it's not rocket science. Go and get the money from Enid, whatever you've got to go and do, and invest in this team now, because we've got the best manager we've arguably ever had, right? Like, bar maybe Bill Nicholson, if you're going to go back to history, and Pochettino, obviously. Conte is a serial winner, and we said the same with Mourinho. He didn't get backed. I feel like I'm repeating myself when we used to talk about Mourinho, Joe. Mourinho should have got backed, and he didn't get backed. And Mourinho got his final, he didn't get his final. Some of these decisions at the top level is unbelievable. We played for a draw first half, was okay. As soon as they scored, the fact they scored a minute into the second half just blew everything away, and then they scored again 4 or 5 minutes later. They were 2-0 up, by the way, in the first 9 minutes of the second half. Like, talk about killing a game. Like, what is the point? I think, you think, okay, like, forget about it now. We haven't got that goal. Let's come back out and try and, get a goal that's going to stand, and we concede in 90 seconds. It's just bloody terrible.
Sorry, I've just seen this bottom comment. I'm not sure.
I'll get to it. I think we will end up with one sign in this window. Can't see anything more happening. Exactly that, Spurs lad. Cam's in there saying, I think Sonny is our charm. I think Sonny, we just need him back as soon as possible. Forget the bench. The starting 11 stinks. Do you think Gio and Ndombele and Dele are going? Hopefully they are. Echo your thoughts there, to be honest. Ndombele, get him out. Dele Alli's posting TikToks at halftime, and Gio also can't clear the first man from a corner. So that's the next question. And HMQ says Roy Keane came out of the closet today. Big respect for that. Disgrace of a man. I mean, he's right though.
He's not a big fan of Keane then.
For some reason, Roy Keane was saying that it was a foul, wasn't he? That's what he's talking about. Was Roy Keane
was
saying
that what it was?
it was
I missed the coverage after.
Gary Neville was saying it's obviously not a push. That's pathetic from Silva, and it went back to half time. The Sky Sports music, and Keane straight away going, "Oh, I don't agree with Gary Neville. I've watched it back. It's not a foul. That's my best Irish impression. I won't be doing that again." And it's just unbelievable how he can think that. So HMQ, I can see. Roy Keane is usually about men expect today. Men apparently can be big flowers in the breeze. HMQ, you're on one tonight, mate. We need to get you in this stream more often on the comments. We'll give you, like Sam Fox said, touch me, let me feel your body. Joe's going to implode in a minute, I think. And Christian Eriksen for 6 months. The fan room suggesting this is unbelievable. I can't lie. Eriksen.
No, you got to let him. Mate, leave it where
you got to let it go. You got to let it go for me. Like, he's gone. He never wanted to be at the club after when he went to Inter Milan. He was an unbelievable player for Spurs. But we can't be going back and replacing players. It's going back to the whole thing about replacing Bale 8 years later with Bale. Like, this is the stink of this club. It is an absolute stinger. Sanchez is terrible. Dyer is okay. Tanganga not good enough. Davies terrible. Emerson going across. We need new defence. And hopefully you agree. Spot on. I think that's how we wrap things up. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, the Roy Keane comments finished me off. I'm sorry.
Guys, thanks very much for tuning into this one. I'm absolutely still very annoyed. That's the most Peggy 3 way of saying that. We got a couple more comments here. Gio for Argentina is unstoppable but not for Tottenham. Do you know what? A lot of people say that. I don't know the answer to that one. I wouldn't say he's amazing for Argentina.
He's okay from like qualifiers and stuff, though. But I'm saying
yeah,
like
they're
the
playing like
intensity of
Bolivia and like
the intensity of
Venezuela.
South American qualifiers is completely different
It's
to the Prem
different
level.
pace, exactly, Joe. It's a
Yeah.
different pace of football. And yeah, HMQ, thanks for bringing a bit of a laugh into the end of the podcast. But guys, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, and we'll be back next week, probably reviewing the transfer situation and hopefully talking about some players that we're going to sign. But Joe, thanks for joining me. And guys, come on, you Spurs. We'll see you guys later.